Hello everybody and welcome to another Conquest video. I'm Sanjita and today I'm going over my process for farming Datacrons in Conquest after running through the table first time. If you've been following my advice and prioritizing 3-starring nodes and completing them on your first try, you should have finished the table day before last. I finished a night before last night, and yesterday I just spent a little bit of time Datacron farming. But now I'm going to show you what you want to do to finish and why you shouldn't worry about the sector feats and global feats as much during your first run through. So in total, across all sectors, I dropped 10 key cards. Now that's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. I dropped only this 2 in Sector 5. In Sector 4 and Sector 1, I dropped 0. Sector 3, I dropped 1 key card, and then Sector 2, I think I dropped 7. So I, for some reason, just had a lot of trouble in Sector 2, and that's because I wasn't following my own advice. I was trying to force as many feats as I could, Sector and Global, on teams that I shouldn't have. For example, here, Phoenix, I think I was trying to force some First Order. And with all the counterattacks, I lost a couple of my weaker teammates. So definitely just prioritize getting the 3-star. Now, before we lay out a plan for where to farm your Conquest materials, we need to determine how much we need each material. So I have a graphic here provided, and it's showing all the mats you're going to need to go from level 0 to 3, level 0 to 6, and then level 0 to 9. Going from, or the Mark 1 mats doesn't differ from any of these sets because you just need them to get to level 3, and after that you need 0. So you're going to need 90 Mark 1 mats for a Datacron max. So if you're spreading out your Datacrons and you want a ton of level 3, you might need more of these, but otherwise you're going to need more of the Mark 2 and Mark 3. In Mark 2, it's really cheap to get to level 3. You only need 5. To get to level 6, you need 130. And to get to level 9, you need 305. And no matter what level you're going for, unless it's just a bunch of level 3s, you're going to need the most Mark 2 mats. So getting to level 9, you need 305 as opposed to 190 Mark 3 and 90 Mark 1. So this is going to be your main bottleneck. And the way Datacron node farming works, you have the way you get Mark 2 mats, you're also getting about the same amount of Mark 1 mats or Mark 3 mats on those nodes. So what's going to end up happening, you're going to have Mark 3 and Mark 1 pile up over time, and Mark 2 is just going to be really bottlenecked. The other big bottleneck is data cache. Data cache is extremely hard to come by right now. They reduced the rates of it. There was a pack last Conquest, I think in the second week, but right now I don't see that pack available for like 550 or 600 credits, and it's not the best value anyway, especially not if you're free-to-play Datacron farming. But you don't need that much to get to level 3, only 500k. Level 6, 2.75 million. Level 9, 7.75 million. And I would recommend just mainly focusing on getting level 6s, and then just a couple, 2 or 3 level 9 Datacrons. That's all I go for usually. But yeah, these Mark 2 mats and data cache are the name of the game. And next up, I have a graphic with what each sector's bonus node, bonus Datacron node contains, with who you're facing, how much you're going to get from it in drops, and where I rank the value of each sector. So for Sector 1, you're facing Boss, and this node, I gave it a 3rd place mark, but it might be the one you farm the most because you need data cache, and this is the best place to get it, even though it is pretty low. I mean, even though data cache and Datacrons are, you could argue they're more important than any of these upgrade mats. The value of these drops, that's what puts it in 3rd, because you don't get much data cache, and the Datacron nodes are kind of hit or miss for drops, actually. A lot of times you're just not going to get any. But to start out, if you haven't built up a set, you want to hit Sector 1 a lot, over and over. Get like 5 or 6 Datacrons, and then stock up that data cache, just so you have something developed, something to work with, and then getting the mats is actually pretty fast. Sector 2, this is the worst one. You go against Rex, and you get 10 to 20 Mark 1 mats, which are going to pile up no matter what you do, and then a measly 37.5k to 90k data cache. I don't know why it's lower than in Zone 1, but if the data cache was higher, maybe this node would be one to hit. But I see no reason to go back to this node ever after you finish all those sector feats. Sector 3 is a good one. I gave it a rank 2. You're going against the Night Sisters, and this is where you have the opportunity to get the most Mark 2 mats, and then you're also getting Mark 1 mats. So you get 5 to 20 Mark 2 and 10 to 20 Mark 1. And then in Sector 4, this used to be just head and shoulders above the rest of the field in terms of development value. In past Conquest, before they changed how it works for Sector 4, because you got Mark 2, Mark 3, you got all the reroll materials, and you got data cache and datacrons. So I used to only just hit this node. But right now, I still think it's first, just based on the value of the drops. It's the Tuscan node. They're very fast, so you have to have a good approach to it to make sure you're not losing. And you're going to get 5 to 15 Mark 2 mats, 5 to 15 Mark 3. And if you look at this store, the Mark 3 mats are the most expensive. So the node that drops those along with the Mark 2 probably more important and more valuable in my opinion. And last up we got Sector 5. I think this is only the 4th best bonus node to hit, and it's also one of the most difficult ones. It might be the most difficult for a lot of teams. It's Yoda, and this is where you get some reroll materials, the ones you're not going to want as much. The Mark 1 reroll mats and the Mark 2 reroll mats, as well as the Mark 3 upgrade materials. The reason I don't value this node is because you're going to go for the Sector 4 zone anyway to get the upgrade materials, because you're always going to need more Mark 2 than Mark 3. And then the reroll mat drops are just kind of low. And even though they're not giving more reroll mats in Territory Wars, you do get some from that. And for the most part, I think it's good to avoid rerolling the lower levels, since those Mark 3 mats are so rare. What you want to do is level a few, level the broad board of your Datacrons to level 3. Don't reroll anything. Pick ones you like the most, take those to 6. And then if you like what you see there, pick the best one and take that one to 9, see what you get, and then spend your reroll mats on getting a good level 9 ability. And lastly, for the breakdown of the materials, I just want to take a quick look at the shipments. And honestly, most of these are just garbage. You shouldn't buy anything in here. Data cache is a huge exception. Always buy data cache for shard sharp currency if you can. This 100k, 10k ally points isn't a lot, but 100k data cache isn't much to make a difference. I don't buy these anymore. I used to before they changed the economy and made them way more prolific, but you get so many of these from the previous set breaking down, and so many when you're trying to get the Mark 2 mats and farming, that you shouldn't run out of these if you're doing it properly. So don't buy those. This, 100 ally points is a lot. I wouldn't like to spend it on this, but if you're desperate and you have a ton of ally points, maybe you would. Definitely don't buy this. It's 2,000, and you can get this in 2 battles, which is 40 energy, worth like 20, like under 20 crystals when you use just a 50 refresh. This you might want to buy. You might want to buy the Mark II reroll mats, especially this set when you're trying to get that cooldown reduction. And then when you get to the older sets, that's not the most recent set, don't buy it. Don't spend 800 on a Datacron. And data cache is one thing I actually do buy from time to time, because it's just so hard and so slow to get in Conquest. There's just so few locations to get it. I actually end up buying some of those here. But ignore Mark 1, ignore Mark 3. And unless you're desperate and Conquest is not live, don't buy these either, because this crystal value is terrible. You can get up to 20 of these in one battle, which is like 12, or it's like less than 10 crystals basically, because you get 6 battles from 50 crystal refresh. So you can get, for spending 200 crystals, you can get like hundreds of these. So just do not buy that. And the Mark III, this is actually probably worth it given the scarcity if you're really wanting some Mark III mats. but this isn't going to be enough to even do one reroll unless you didn't reroll at all on any of the other levels. And that's it for the store. Not much great going on there.
Hello there.
Like and subscribe.
Lastly, I just want to go over a few battles where to show how I actually am Datacron farming. So here I'm in Sector 1, and I want to clean up my feats. I need one more battle with no tank in my squad, and then I need to beat 6 more enemy units with droids. So with the bounty hunters and my data disk set up for my first Conquest video, it shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to use kind of a weird version of General Grievous. Alright, there we go. And even though this is an unconventional team, it should do the job just fine. I have marked on Grievous just from my voluntary vanguard, so I'm going to make sure he's topped off and can withstand a bunch of hits. But this shouldn't even be a problem. And with 2 bounty hunters with bounty hunters resolve, I should get 7 kills from this, so this should be plenty to get through all the way. With Amplify Agony and all that stuff, you have no problem chewing through bounty hunters in this node. Even with the true defense, it just melts away. Even without the proper team of B2 and Magna Guard. So I'm not as worried about these post runs. Hopefully get a Datacron, hopefully get 150k data cache. 50k, see, it doesn't drop well. And I took care of those feats there. Just for another one, I'm here in Sector 4, and the feats I have left in this one are the full squad of Inquisitorius kills, which I'm ignoring, and then the non-separatist droids feat. The Tuscans are a pretty tough opponent, and if you don't have a developed shorty or sortie, it can be difficult, but you can still win with 100% stamina and the right data discs. What happens on this team that I have, Mark goes on R2-D2, which allows them to survive, and I can still win this pretty quick, even with a Gear 11 sortie, and even if they take him out, I do have the Zeta, so he does come back. But there we go, yeah, I get this attack off, and then it goes very fast from here. Just get the AoEs. When you have Zealous Ambition, it is just super easy. And that's it. Let's see what we get. Hopefully 15 of each. I'm done. Not bad. The last battle I want to show you is in Sector 5. I consider this to be the most difficult node to go through. I need some more blind, need some more first order kills. But I'm going to use my CLS team, which can get that blind with 3PO and Chewie. Because I think this is the best team for this node. What you want to do, you just want to target Ayla with Han's first shot. I might only get like 1 blind or something, maybe even just 2. Or maybe just 2, maybe 1. But you want to target Ayla, just go on auto, and it'll finish so fast. You actually want, as long as you have a strong enough team, you want Anakin to attack. Because he gets the ball rolling at the beginning with all the counterattacks, and that's it. Less than 15 seconds, even though it wasted like 3 seconds targeting. The rolls, okay. You see why I'm not thrilled about this one. So that's it for me today. Just hit Sector 4, 3, and 1 as much as you can. Get the Mark II mats, data cache, and Datacron materials. General Grievous is the best team for Sector 4. He can even auto it at 1% when you use BB-8 as the 5th. Sector 5, you CLS. Sector 3, just whatever you have. Probably First Order and Resistance to get those global feats done. And then also the Maul, Wat Tambor, and Canderous lineup with Vet Han and Crew to get that feat done as well. But really just anything on these nodes. You don't have to 3-star, and it's just about the Datacrons at this point. This is Sanjita, signing off.